So I'm here today with Laura, who is part of the Ellesmere Centre. Laura, tell us just a little bit about what you do at the Ellesmere Centre.
Okay, so I came to know the Ellesmere Centre through doing my 4-year training there.
Yep.
During this time, we found there were some opportunities with some local providers to gain some work in local anxiety and depression services. So I worked with Kathy to become a provider for CHCP in the Let's Talk service in Hull. We were successful. So I now manage the contract for the Ellesmere Centre, and I'm also looking at developing into future work and other services through a community interest company that we've just set up.
Okay.
Yep, called Space to be Heard. So my role varies and it changes and it's sort of bedding in at the moment, but yeah, so I'm managing the contract and also doing some sort of strategy work as well to sort of see where we can go really with future work.
Okay, so that's for people who might feel they're experiencing high levels of anxiety or depression, and they might access the services through their GP, or they could self-refer, but it's the bit that you're in charge of is people receiving counselling and psychotherapy.
Yes.
Rather than the training of counsellors and psychotherapists.
Yeah. So I'm involved in the service arm of what happens at the Ellesmere Centre. So I don't really get involved now with the training. I'm to do with people being able to access quality counselling and psychotherapy at the Ellesmere Centre, either through Valued Minds or the Let's Talk service, and hopefully other avenues in the future.
Okay, fab. So, but you have been through the psychotherapy training.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about like what you were doing before you engaged in that.
So before I started my 4-year training, I was working as an operations director at a local construction training company in Hull. We also had offices in Sheffield and Scunthorpe. It was a busy job. I was involved with lots of different contracts with colleges and prime contractors, and our work was around getting people back into work, retrained, reskilled, finding work in the local community. I decided not to return to that after I had my first child. My daughter Orla is 7 now. So after I had her, I did go back, but then left because the job wasn't really fitting with family life anymore.
Okay.
And I found the Ellesmere Centre through a colleague, Leslie Watts, who is a therapist over in Walkington. She's got quite a lot of links with the Ellesmere Centre and Kathy.
Yep.
So I knew her through I did some Reiki training with Leslie.
Okay, right.
So that's how I knew her, and I had a couple of therapy sessions with her, and she recommended that I look at the Ellesmere Centre to at least do the foundation course. Mainly the link that we saw at the time was that I'd worked with lots of different staff and that TA has got the good organisational element to it.
Yep.
So the intention in the first instance was maybe to look at TA from that side of things, not necessarily the psychotherapy route.
Okay.
So I just decided to go for my 101, and that was June time 2012.
Something. 12,
yeah. Did my TA 101, found the centre so welcoming, and the theory was really engaging but accessible, fairly simple, but you could really relate it either to yourself or I could imagine it in the workplace working quite well. Signed up for the foundation and decided to carry on after the foundation.
Okay.
And had another baby after my first year.
Okay. So. And managed to fit all that in as well.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So tell us how life is different for you now you've been through the training.
Well, it's hugely different because some of my peers, whilst I was doing the course, perhaps did the course as something that would back up what they were already doing in the workplace. For me, the intention was always to have a career change, really, either to become a psychotherapist or to use what I'd learned in a future job. Now, what's ended up happening is I'm actually working at the Ellesmere Centre, which wasn't planned but has been a great outcome of becoming involved with Kathy and the whole community at the Ellesmere Centre. So life is totally different. I've got a new job which has got some links to what I used to do before. There is familiarity there. My experience around the contract management and planning of business and that sort of thing is from my experience in my past job. But I also have a small private practice. I've been able to use the psychotherapy and the counselling to set up a small private practice at home where I work with maybe 3, 4, 5 clients, taking them through the psychotherapeutic journey together, and I love that too. So I've got a real variety.
Cool. So if anybody was thinking of signing up for the foundation year, any advice for them?
Yeah, I would say that if you are looking, the advice would be that I think that the foundation training could suit pretty much anybody in any role in their life, because it will always be useful either for yourself, for developmental purposes for yourself, learning about yourself, or how to be with others. And you know, that could be from if you're working in business, if you are working with people, if you're working in any sector really. And I would say as well to be prepared to sort of reflect on yourself as well when you do the training. That's probably not something I was very aware of when I first started the training. Kathy did, you know, talk about that in our interview, in the interview that you have before you start the course. And I think really until you're in it, you don't really get that bit that you're going to have to reflect on your own process. So be prepared for that. But for me, it's been very useful to do that, and I've gained a huge amount of understanding about myself through doing the 4-year training. You know, there is the theory, there is some academic work there, so I would be prepared for that, and it is at a level where you know, it goes up to level 7, so you know the academic demands are there, but I do know that the centre supports individuals in that too, so you know, you will be supported in being able to achieve what you need to academically in the course. It's a great place to meet new friends too and get support from other people. You know, people that do the course tend to have, you know, similar interests and similar outlooks to life, which is amazing. You know, I've met some friends for life, I think, and we've always supported each other throughout the sort of time that we've been there, and it's a really safe place to be too, which I think is really important, because you are exploring some things that can be tough personally and within the group that you're training in, and I've always found the Ellesmere Centre to be you know, I'm okay, you're okay, which is the foundation to TA. You know, you go in and you can be who you need to be and do what you want to do in a really safe, sort of welcoming way.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Okay. Is that the 4 questions?